Hey, how you folks doing out there in Facebook land? Hopefully, you guys can hear me out there. This is Kenneth Aretas Whitfield again with real shit for today. And you know what? This shit's getting so real and so deep that shit's being slung so much around the White House with Flynn being resigning and Conway and all her bullshit and everything that pretty soon people they're not going to call the White House anymore. They're going to start calling it the fecal house instead of the White House. That's how deep it's getting out there. And if any of you guys watching want to throw a comment up or say hello, go ahead. Feel free to do so. It's about peace and unity up in here. Okay. I'm going to put some things in context for you. What is disturbing is that everybody was afraid of Russia when we had the Cold War and Russia was communist and all this stuff. But now it's quasi-democratic, which it really is, and it's a fascist society. Let's get real. Putin won his last two elections by rigging them, or actually sending people out to kill his rivals. It's well documented. That's well documented right now. It's just really disturbing what's going on. That people have this, certain part of people in this country have this level of denial and acceptance that it's okay for our government officials to actually be, and our president to sit there, disrespect our military, disrespect the men and women who put their lives on the line at the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI, openly disrespect them. And why would he do that? Because guess what? He doesn't have America's best interest at heart. Hold on a second. My little doggy's over here. She wants to come in here what Daddy has to say. But anyways, getting back to what I have to say, it's very disheartening that there's that many Americans in this country that think it's okay for a president to be communicating with a government that was fired, actually doing sorties over our ships right before the election, has openly threatened our government at times. And oh, by the way, let me give you the real lowdown today on the real shit. Guess what happened? I found out that Russia violated a couple of our ballistic missiles treaties. They have a new missile out. They have since last summer. Trump hasn't said shit about that. And I've been wondering why, like, the CIA and the NSA have been openly just defying the president, and why they have a lot of resentment and angst towards him. Now we're finding out why. Because of things like these ballistic missile treaties being violated. For a while, they just needed somebody to collaborate the PP Gate tapes and all the other shit that's been going on in regards to communications between people in Trump's cabinet up and down. Now, this is what's surprising. Why hasn't Rex Tillerson's name not come up? Pretty soon, I think Flynn's going to get resentful, and I think he's going to have a nice little reporter sit there and be able to cry on they can cry on their shoulder, because people like Flynn ain't going down by themselves. I guarantee you that. He's not going out like that. He's not going to be disgraced like that. Okay, he's no Oliver North, or G Gordon Liddy, whatever his name was too. They're not guys like that. Let's put this in a whole different context. So, folks, basically, we have this perfect storm of what's going on in politics in this country, and it's for Democrats to seize the moment, right? And not let these guys get away with this shit. This is treason, espionage. I mean, people in this country have been locked up for a lot less for what Trump, Rex Tillerson, Flynn, and all these other people have been doing. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, man? Thanks for watching. A lot of people have been actually, locked up for a lot less in this country. I mean, it just boggles my mind that, I'm a Cold Air, I served during the Cold War. If I did any of the shit these guys did during the Cold War, my ass would have went to Fort Leavenworth. For life. You see what I'm saying? They locked up that guy that got the sex change for that WikiLeaks thing for 7 years. For what Trump's people have been doing. For 7 years. And oh, by the way, WikiLeaks has been really silent lately. Still haven't came through on that promise for the taxes, but yet it looks like Julian Assange still can't be trusted. Ding. But let's keep rolling with this tonight. Let's keep this focused. Anyways, it's ridiculous how these guys can just openly defy the Constitution, commit treason, and then the people in their party go, we don't want to investigate them. Of course not, because you guys all knew about this shit. And I've said this before. Rubio, Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, they all getting fucking blackmailed. They got dirt on every fucking one of them. And know what's funny? Where all this money is flowing. Even DeVos is dirty in this. Her family's involved with Blackwater. You don't think they don't know about some of this shit? They might actually even help broker this shit. But this is what you guys need to wake the fuck up to. It's not about political ideology anymore. It's about the establishment of the New World Order, where corporations and billionaires run our governments. Hey, Gary, thanks for tuning in, man. Guys, this isn't too far-fetched to see. This isn't just about political ideology anymore. This is about the New World Order. And I'm going to say it one more time since Gary just tuned in. This is about corporations and billionaires running our government and our lives. And we have no say-so. I'm going to put this in context for you. Russia breaks this intercontinental ballistic missile treaty. Right? No, and it's funny, Trump, none of them was willing to talk about it last year. Number two, anybody know what's going on in Delaware? I do. Russians got a damn military ship off the shore in Delaware. And guess what it has on it? A bunch of electronics surveillance equipment on that ship. People have actually gotten pictures of that ship. So why hasn't Trump dispatched some Navy destroyers and send some F-16s to do some sorties and say, hey guys, maybe you better take your butt back out to international waters and get the hell off our shores? Like I said, the selling of America is an inside job. Rex Tillerson, Flynn, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But when is the rest of America going to wake up and shake their head? I know not all Republicans are. I wish some of these level-head Republicans would just wake up and say, you know what, honey? I may not like everything the liberals have to say, but you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Because you know what? All these legislations they put in trying to sell public lands for oil interests, this sounds like what they're doing over in Russia right now. Go figure on that one. Well, matter of fact, people are starting to walk question Chavez, who refuses to investigate Trump, refuses to investigate Rex Tillerson, refuses to investigate Mr. Flynn, got ran out of his own town hall the other night in Utah. He said he had to run for his life. Also, Mr. Mitch McConnell, there in his good old home state of Kentucky, Bluegrass State, was at an airport met by a mob of other angry Republicans. He thought he could jump in his vehicle and just drive home and avoid it. Turns out they showed up on his doorstep. So my hope and prayers are is that some of these level-headed Republicans can see what we see. 3-4 years ago, people would think I'm just a conspiracy theorist and that I'm crazy and all this stuff. No, you know what it is? I choose to call myself a free thinker. If liberals are doing crazy stuff that are way out there, I'll call them on it just as I will a conservative right-wing conservative. It is what it is. But the bigger concern for all of us is that I never would have thought being a teenager in high school or being a youngster in the 70s that this is where we would be today. That our country is being invaded by the Russians, oligarchs, and billionaires for their whole sole purpose of destroying our society and our way of life. You know why? The reason why, because it's people like the United States and the sanctions that President Obama put on Putin that Rex Tillerson wasn't able to broker his oil deal and then actually illegally move into the Ukraine so he could push his pipeline. Nobody ever talked about that pipeline, just like the Dalpo pipeline, right? That's what that fight over the Ukraine was about a pipeline going from Russia through Ukraine to southern ports so they don't have to pay taxes on oil being shipped through the Ukraine. See, nobody want to talk about that. People talk about Russian identity and Ukraine's identity. It had nothing to do with that. It had to come down to money. That's what it comes down to. And that's what majority of all this stuff is about. Comes down to money. Well, my thing is, us as American society, why should I subsidize somebody's oil pipeline when oil usage, crude oil usage in the United States is at a record low? And every day we make more and more fuel efficient cars are being sold here. Oh, that's right. Those oil pipelines going down to Texas and going to get loaded on some ship and shit or somewhere overseas. Where's the benefit for our national security out of that? None. But somebody like the Koch brothers get paid. Donald Trump gets paid. We better wake up. And I'm at a point where I'm not comfortable being, especially ex-military, sitting on the sidelines from the comfort of my living room. I'm going to take a few nights a week. I'm going to make a nice big poster board, and I'm going to go stand out at the corner of Maxella and Lincoln Boulevard in Marina Del Rey and let people know that we need to wake up. Now, some people may say, "Oh, Kenny, you're fucking nuts." Yeah, you know what? I could either sit here in the comfort of my living room and watch all this happen and don't do a damn thing, or I can go out and express my right to free speech. And hopefully other like-minded people, as they drive by, will want to actually talk to me and see what we can do. I've been talking about this idea of the 10 million citizen march. And maybe you guys that are watching tonight, please talk to some people around you. I know some of you guys are up in Washington. Seattle's a big area. I know they support us. You know, anybody in San Francisco area and back east, New York, Jersey. We could do this because that is the only way we could tell these damn Republicans that we're not going to have this crap. This isn't just about me. This is about my 3 nephews that I dearly love and have worked their butts off in their life. This is all for my cousins' kids who have kids. What are we going to leave for them if we let this happen? What are we going to leave for the next generation? Nothing. We're going to leave them in debt to these rich damn billionaires in jobs that don't pay anything with no health care and no hope. And that's another thing. We're going to leave this next generation with no hope. That are the founding principles of what this country is about. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whatever happened to that? You know, I'm a Christian, but, you know, what a gay person does behind the closed doors with their significant other is none of my business. Am I big on abortions? No, but that's something between that person and God when they stand in judgment. And that's another thing. You know, I'm starting to think that that term conservative Christian is just a code word to say, hey, I'm going to preach God, but I'm going to act demonically. I put that in one of my posts yesterday. I'm starting to believe that. Folks, stuff is happening around us and we need to do something. And we need to go out and talk to our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, our mothers, our fathers, our co-workers, and other people in the community that are willing to listen. Because yes, this, you know something's wrong when the NSA and the CIA, right? When the NSA and the CIA are they're acting like they're actively pursuing the president and everybody in his cabinet. Because you know why? They all know he's dirty as hell. There's some people in this world that think that, you know what? It's not even about religious ideology. That's what they tell you. They tell you it's about religious ideology and it's us against them. They tell you it's about you can't get a job because of that dude came on the other side of the fence. That's what they tell you. But that's not the truth. That isn't the truth. That's the distraction. People need to wake up to that. That's the distraction. That's not the truth. Hey, how you doing, Cousin Dana? Thanks for tuning in as well. That man from the other side of the fence. Hey, Frankie, how you doing? Thanks for watching too. That man from the other side of the fence ain't my problem. That person that's Muslim or Buddhist is not my problem. You know what I'm saying? That's not my problem. If I'm failing in life, and this goes back to a thing of personal responsibility. If I'm failing in life sometimes, could certain things put me at a disadvantage? Yeah. But there's this thing, and all my friends that are Caucasian, please don't take this the wrong way, but I even see it at work sometimes. There are certain people that are Caucasian that feel that they're, and I've seen it with other religious groups and races too. There's always going to be that percentage of the group that think they're entitled to something without working for it. But my thing is this: if you worked hard and somebody helped you get on in life, then you have a responsibility to help somebody else. So that's when I get mad when certain people are liberal when they starting out in life. They get a little bit of money, they get a few things, and now they're a conservative Republican. See, I don't have nothing, I'm a liberal, but when I get something, I want to be a conservative Republican. Imagine that. But back to task, and if you're watching that's been in the military may understand, I saw one of the most egregious violations of OPSEC, and if you're in the military, you know I'm talking about operational security, when this thing went out there at that Mar-a-Lago resort. Somebody's holding on to the nuclear football at this resort in the middle of a wedding reception, and Trump's negotiating a crisis right in the middle of a fucking ballroom. And tweeting, what the fuck is going on? Really? And you got to understand where I came from, because I served overseas. And the CIA and the NSA has said this. This man's operating in such a dangerous manner. He's already gotten Navy SEALs killed. He's already gotten American civilians killed in that stupid raid. And he was told, don't fucking do it. Got a Navy SEAL killed and civilians. People might ask, why do I make these videos? For me to stand on the sidelines and not say a damn thing, I'm just as guilty as them other people. That's why I make these videos. I don't give a crap if people think I'm loony, crazy. I had to block some people off my Facebook because of this. Some of these people I thought my friends were right-wingers. But that only inspired me to keep doing this even more. There was two men in my life. Both of them my grandfathers. I can only imagine what both of those men went through growing up. What went through serving in World War II. And what all my uncle and my dad, all my uncles and my dad went through. Being in the military during certain times of this country. See, they saw the 40s, they saw the 50s, they saw the 60s. A lot of things people in my generation and this next generation behind me has forgotten about. It's all the way live right here, right now. So that's why I'll be out at Lincoln Boulevard in Maxelli here in Marina Del Rey protesting this week. And if anybody wants to join me, feel free. I don't care what I'm past what people think anymore. And I have a responsibility to do that because people have helped me in my life get to where I've gotten. Friends and a lot of love from my family. And if I'm grateful for what these people have done for me, how can I sit in this damn living room and just sit here and not do a damn thing? When our country's being invaded from the inside out, like my post said. You got a president for the last 10 years been going to Russia. Started out with his Miss World passion, building up all these contacts. See, Donald Trump, he knows it's all about networking and making contacts. Starts out with his pageants, little pimping, little pandering, bringing these little Eastern European honeys over here, telling them they're going to go work in some high fashion and instead become high-class call girls. All this stuff's real. Goes all the way back to Donald Trump's grandfather, who was deported, by the way, and then even Donald Trump's grandfather was a legal immigrant for a minute, but he won't tell you about that. Like I said, it's about the stuff they sell in it. Don't always buy what they're telling you. It's always what they're trying to sell you. I'm not here to buy some wolf tickets today. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I choose to call myself a militant Democrat today, because the woozy, rosy, oh, we're going to take the higher ground crap don't work. Does it mean go blow some shit up? No, it doesn't. Does it mean go out and physically hurt somebody? No, it doesn't. It just means that, to the best of my ability, I was sworn, and I can give you the date. July 7th, 1987, I was sworn in the United States Army, and I was sworn to protect my country from enemies, foreign and domestic. And I hate to say it, our White House is full of terrorists right now. One of the biggest terrorists in this whole world is a company called ExxonMobil. Guess who used to work for them before it became the Secretary of State? Rex Tillerson. What do you think of Iraq and this oil deal? ExxonMobil's had their fingers in so many things and so many wars over the last 20 years. It's fucking ridiculous. And if you would check with some people in the NSA and CIA, they would know what they do. They hire companies like Blackwater. These security contractors, they're not security contractors. They're fucking paid mercenaries. People don't be stupid, okay? Some of these companies have the same equipment the United States military has, sometimes even better. And they're used for black bag missions or off-the-book missions. Even people, that's why I talk about the rogue government, have used these people for private company interest. Benghazi, why was there all these private security contractors there when we got United States Marines to protect? And I tell you something, sometimes these guys make 10 times more than the average United States Marine does. Go figure on that. And they're allowed to do what they do so they don't have to report to Congress. It's called off the books job, folks. So this one I'm going to ask everybody that's sitting here right now. You may not want to go protest, but there's other things that you can do, and I urge you guys to do it. Whoever your local congressman or senator is, call them up and tell them about what I told you guys tonight. We're not willing to let this country be invaded by Russia and oligarchs and billionaires from over there from the inside out. We want an investigation of all of Trump's ties to Russia and the rigging of this previous election. And if they don't want to do their job, there's certain things guaranteed in the Constitution. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, just to name a few. It's time for us to unplug from the matrix of all the BS that they sell you in media. The only news source that's really reporting on cable news, that is CNN. Oh, and by the way, speaking of CNN, RT News keeps trying to screw with CNN's broadcast. So if you see anything that's RT News, that's actually the Russian news propaganda channel. So you guys, I'm getting ready to close this up, but I may seem really emotional and passionate about it because this is important, man. We cannot be in denial. People were laughing, oh, Trump will get elected last year. That was a problem that some liberal Democrats didn't take serious. And see, it was funny. Trump got up there and said, the election is rigged. He was doing reverse psychology. Yeah, the election was rigged in his favor. And if you notice during his election, this last election, he would say things that's going to happen to him, but actually end up happening to the other person. So basically, he was already laying his cards on the table. The election's going to be rigged. It was. We know he has a relationship with Putin. And one thing I want you guys to call your congressmen and senators about, Trump needs his taxes released. We need Trump's tax, and there's one way we can go about doing this. It's called a congressional inquiry. You want grounds Trump's taxes released based on the grounds that Trump has violated OFAC laws and regulations, and those are implemented by the Department of Treasury. Now, what does OFAC laws cover? OFAC laws were developed to see if terrorist organizations and drug dealers were actually doing money laundering here in the United States, and doing that by coming up with bogus shell corporations or certain individuals buying high dollar value items, vehicles, boats, thing Trump property. Only reason Trump came out of his bankruptcy was because a lot of Russians bought up a lot of his property, especially in New York at that Trump Tower and other and places like these Mar-a-Lago Resort and all this stuff. Only way he came out of bankruptcy, and courtesy of guess who's getting flagged? Deutsche Bank. Imagine that stuff. Now, where's this money coming from? Real easy. You know those oil fields? That used to belong to people. USSR. Then after Gorbachev came in, guess what happened? Putin and all his Spetsnaz and I forgot what they call the Russian Secret Service back then, but all these guys swooped in, came up with these crooked ass laws and companies to actually buy up all this land with all this oil in Siberia and natural gas. That's where you got the company Gazprom from. Yeah. So in Putin's last 2 elections, those were both rigged. Russia's not a free democratic society, and why you have all these Russians moving over here to the United States and people from Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, all these places? Why do you think they're moving over here? They don't want to be over there. So you guys do me a favor. If you agree, and help me get the word out on this, if you agree with what I'm saying in this video, also do me a favor and please reshare this video. Please reshare this video. We need to get the word out there. We need to stop living in denial. You know, denial is not a river in Egypt. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short right now. Much love, peace and prosperity to all you guys. We need to stop America and being invaded by inside out, using with Putin using Trump as a conduit, and also Mr. Sorry, a little lame brain tonight. Along with Rex Tillerson. This is Kenneth Whitfield with Real Shit for today. Peace. I'm out of here.